Hey guys, welcome back to another installment of Team Houghton's Social Studies class. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. Go ahead and take about 3 or 4 minutes and knock out your warm-up. Okay, awesome. I think a perfect segue into what we're talking about today is this meme I found on the internet. So it goes, better not go to the bathroom. White man will steal my seat and call it manifest destiny. This is done in a pretty humorous way, but in some cases, I think the underlying principle is the same, right? As we talk about manifest destiny over the next 2 days, it is essentially the story of Americans, in this case, white Americans, taking Native American land. And so the meme is trying to be funny, but it is a little bit true. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in. Today is Mr. Houghton's birthday, so hopefully you gave him lots of candy and cookies and hugs and high fives. Even if every one of you give him $1, he can go out and buy some Jordans, so make sure you wish him happy birthday. But anyway, more importantly, let's talk about today's objective. Over the next 2 days, you're going to be doing several things. First, you're going to look at manifest destiny, right? So you'll be able to tell me what it is. You're also going to look at the places we got as part of manifest destiny. And then last but not least, you're going to sort of explain the politics, the economics, and the social aspects of manifest destiny, right? So why did we do it? Okay, so let's jump right in. Manifest destiny, page 99, add it to your table of contents. Okay. And of course, this is in Unit 7, so we've looked at Jackson already, we've looked at technology. Now we're looking at manifest destiny, and then right after spring break, we will look at reform. So today's topic, manifest destiny. Okay, so what is manifest destiny? Essentially, it's this idea that Americans deserve the territory, and because Americans deserve it, we should go from Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Pacific Ocean. And the idea is essentially, it's Americans are starting to get cocky, right? They feel like they defeated England and became free. They were one of the first countries to do that. They fought England again. They're getting richer. They're getting more powerful. And so they're starting to believe in themselves. And this idea is look, man, God obviously wants us to have this territory. If he didn't, why would he keep on blessing us? He keeps allowing us to buy land. He keeps allowing us to win war. So let's just do it. Let's just go all the way from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. And so many Americans want to make this destiny real. That's where the term manifest comes in, right? When you manifest something, you make it real. And they want to achieve their dream by expanding west. Manifest destiny. The politics, right? So anytime you see political, I want you to think power and politics. And the power game here is simple. Make America stronger. Spread democracy, right? So our way of life, and make the country stronger. Power, power, power. Make the country bigger, make the country richer, make the country have more power, right? That's the political reason behind manifest destiny. We move west for power. But we also move west for the money, right? There's an economic reason too. We move west to get land and wealth. Manifest destiny is designed to make America richer. Think about it. All that new land, set up a plantation, create a factory, dig for gold. More land, more money. More land, more money. Manifest destiny is about the economics. Manifest destiny is also about the social reasons too, right? Some Americans, not only do they want to go west for the power and the money, they also want to go west to spread their culture, right? So this, I think, in some ways is kind of messed up, right? This idea that our culture is better than Native American culture. It's better than Mexican culture. So let's go over there, take their stuff, and force them to be like us. Let's spread Christianity and spread the American way of life. This sounds pretty bad, but at the same time, isn't this what everybody does, right? It's all about money, power, respect, and a little bit of religion. And that's one of the reasons that we see manifest destiny happening. Last but not least, there's a military reason too, right? If we can control all the land from the Atlantic to the Pacific, we really only have 2 neighbors. Now think about that for a second. If we've only got 2 neighbors, we don't really have to defend ourselves that much, right? There'll be an entire ocean between us and Europe and another entire ocean between us and Asia. So, like, for many Americans, the idea of controlling all this land would make us safer, right? Military reasons. So we have money, power, respect, military reason, a little bit of religion. This is why Americans move west. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like on a map, right? So you see what becomes the United States. And the idea is, if we can go from this ocean, Atlantic Ocean, all the way to the Pacific Ocean, we'll have an entire ocean between us and the rest of the world, and an entire ocean between the rest of the world. This way, all we'll have to do is worry about Canada and Mexico. Makes us safer, less area to defend. Okay, let's jump right in now. We're going to do some doc analysis. So you have document 1 in your packet. I know it's kind of hard to see. What I want you to do, go ahead and take about 2 minutes. Write down everything you see, think, and feel in the document. Go. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this document. Like, whenever you think of Manifest Destiny, this is like typically the picture that people think about. And so in this picture, there's so much going on. So if you didn't add these things, make sure you go ahead and add them. First thing is, I see the 2 geographic features, right? Here in the east, you see the Mississippi River. And then here out west, you see the Rocky Mountains. Now, if you notice, the picture gets lighter as you go west. And the reason for that is simple. White Americans are bringing the light. The angel, her name is Columbia, she's bringing the light, right? Because the Native Americans live out there, and they're not good, they're evil, they're bad, they're not as smart as us. And so it takes us bringing the light, right? And we've got to cross the Mississippi River, but then later on we've got to cross the Rocky Mountains. But it's so, they should be happy we're doing this, because when we get here, we'll make everything better. This is an extremely racist idea, right? I think it's a pretty bad one, but it's what many Americans felt. Now, if you notice, Columbia is taking a Bible, right? So we're not just coming over here to take the land. We're also coming to spread our religion. And then if you notice, the Americans sort of come in 3 waves, right? The first group of settlers, they're in these wagon trains, right? So like first group, right? This early 1800s. Later on, they're coming in stagecoaches, right? And then, like, finally, they're coming using the railroads, right? So this is towards the end of Manifest Destiny. And then look at what they're doing, right? They're bringing farming, but look who's being destroyed. Native Americans are losing their land. This is pretty rough. We're also bringing technology, right? So you see the telegraph wires. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and jump back in. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the different areas that we got. The first big area, of course, 13 colonies. Jamestown, 1607, right? Jamestown, Virginia, right? This little piece. Pardon me. In 150 years, we go from being just Jamestown to being 13 colonies, right? But after a while, we don't want to be colonies anymore. We feel like Great Britain has been pimping us, taking advantage of us, you know, taking our raw materials, not giving us enough freedom, making taxes. We fight them. That's the American Revolution. And what's really cool is, after we win the revolution, they give us all this land west of the Appalachian. So that land that we wanted, but they wouldn't let us get, now that we've beaten them, they give it to us. And so now our country's doubled in size. We went from being 13 colonies right here to now we go from all the way in the Atlantic Ocean over here, following the cursor, all the way to the Mississippi River, right? So the United States has gotten bigger. Think about that for a second, right? In 1776, we are 13 colonies. In 1783, we are a country that is twice as big. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at is the Northwest Ordinance, and this is the law that allows new areas to become states, right? And so this new territory, we've got to figure out a way to organize it. The law is called the Northwest Ordinance, and essentially when the territory gets 60,000 people, it can apply to be a state, right? So like as the new area grows, then they can sort of join us. When they join us, they become equal to us. So that's something to think about, right? And so this is how we will add to the country in an organized way. This is a long slide, I recognize that, but it's pretty critical, so make sure you go ahead and write it all down. Okay, and so we're talking about this territory, right? The Northwest Territory. Here it is. We get it after the war, and each of these areas eventually becomes a state after they've added enough people and made the application. Okay. A few years later, 1803, we buy Louisiana Territory. We buy it from France. France is in war with England. They need the money. We wanted to buy New Orleans, this little city down here. France is like, hey, take the whole thing for $15 million. We're like, yeah, I love it. Doubles the size. And this time, we're not just getting one side of the Mississippi River. We're going to go from the Mississippi River all the way to the Rockies, right? So we have full control of Mississippi River. Louisiana Territory, great. Jefferson bought it. Really helps our country. Boom. A few years later, we grab Florida. This one's kind of an interesting story. So Andrew Jackson, he's a hero from the War of 1812. He's not the president yet. Well, in 1817, some Native American tribes were running into Georgia, attacking us, and running back into Florida. President Monroe was like, this is crap. He sends Jackson down there to attack the Indians. Jackson's such a gangster. He doesn't just kill the Indians. He takes the area. There's a problem, though. Spain controlled Florida. Monroe is worried. He thinks Spain is going to fight us now because we took their land. But he calms it down. He throws Spain some money. Spain is like, fine, you already took it, but give us the cash, and we won't call it war. And so that's how we get Florida. So manifest destiny, right? We're getting bigger. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at document 2. So once again, write down everything you see, think, or feel. Go. Okay. I actually really like document 2. I think it's kind of interesting, right? Once again, we see the difference between the light on the east and it's getting like lighter on the west as we go over there. If you notice, like angels are leading us, right? Manifest destiny. God wants us to have this land, right? And then if you notice, it's a lot of women moving west, and that's like a symbol for something. All these women are young and they're fertile, right? They're pregnant. So Americans are not just coming over here, they're bringing their families. They're bringing new Americans, right? And of course, this is going to be bad for the Native Americans. You can actually see them in this corner. They're dark, they're evil. So like they deserve to have their land taken. Extremely racist idea, kind of messed up, but if you're an American in the 1840s, you look at this political cartoon and you're like, yeah, duh, manifest destiny is great for me. All right, swag tip of the day. Some of y'all, ooh, you desperately need it. Let Mr. Houghton help you. You know, the 8th grade dance is coming up in a couple of months, and I want y'all to be ready. So I got a couple swag tips. First of all, you got to wear a hat or sunglasses, man. You want to have an accessory. Second thing, you got to be matching, but in the right way. So if you notice in this picture in college, I'm wearing a lot of black, but it's different shades of black, right? So you can be real clean. And then last but not least, you got to have people remember you. You know what I'm saying? I'm the life of the party. What are people going to be saying about you after the party? And, of course, take lots of photos so that, like, years down the line, you can look at how skinny you were and be like, dang, what's happening to me? But that's all good. So swag tip of the day, be fresh. All right, James K. Polk. Let's talk about our 11th president. Literally, there's one thing you need to know about this man. He's the president that gets us the most land. While he's president, we will get Texas, we will make a deal and get Oregon, and we will whoop Mexico and take half their territory. James K. Polk, he's the man, gets us all this land. So land man, he's the man because he gets us all this land. I know that was real cheesy, but one of y'all is going to remember it. So when you get this question right on the star, you owe me some money. Okay, Texas, 1845. Texas's story is interesting, right? Because we don't buy Texas and we don't beat her. She joins us. So this is a story. Spain controls Mexico. Mexico gets mad, right? Spain is taking my rights away. So Mexico has a revolution. Mexico becomes free. But then Texas, part of Mexico, is like, Mexico, you're making fun of me. You're abusing me. You're taking my rights. So Texas has a revolution and Texas becomes free. So Texas is its own country for about 10 years. They set up a government, write a constitution, all that stuff. But then after a while, you know, Texas looks north and they're like, you know, the United States is a really strong country. You know, we had a bad experience with Mexico taking away our rights, but maybe like the United States will treat us right. And so Texas joins us. They vote to join us. That's why we call it Texas annexation, right? It's not a cession, right? We didn't beat them and take them. They joined us. But this is going to lead to some bad blood, right? Mexico is pissed. They're like, really, Texas? You're going to break up with us, be free, but then in 10 years, you're just going to go with the United States? That's kind of messed up. Mexico feels like we took their girl, and we keep like messing with Mexico, threatening to take more land. So Mexico's pissed. We go to war. Mexican-American war, easy war to remember, obviously Mexico versus America. It's about 2 years long. It's about land, and we whoop them. Okay, we whoop them so bad. And then we take half of their territory, which we'll talk about in a second. The peace treaty is the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo that ends the war. Okay. And some people say this war is kind of messed up. They sort of feel like we started it. And yeah, America sort of did start it. But don't blame America, right? I told you, it's all about money, power, respect. Okay. Now, after whooping Mexico, they've got to give us some territory. We took half their land. This is kind of messed up. This is called the Mexican Cession. We get it in 1848 with the signing of the peace treaty, Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. And if you notice, the land is massive. Like, look at this piece. That's all California alone. Okay, so Mexican Cession, Mexico gives us some land. All right. Oregon Territory. So this one is further north. It's north of California. And we got in an argument with England over this, but we ended up making a deal. So like England got half of Oregon and like we got the other half. So this is Oregon. We added Oregon in 1846. Manifest destiny, right? So we've bought land, we've stolen land, and we've beat people to get land. We've convinced people to join us, and now we're making deals for land. One thing that's cool about Oregon is like they used to have a game called Oregon Trail. You played it on your computer. I love this game. The only problem was it was like super old. Like I played in 4th grade, and like I never made it to Oregon. My person would always get sick and die on the way, or like my wife gets bitten by a rattlesnake. Like I never won the game. You can probably download it on your phone now. It's super old. Yeah. Okay. Then in 1849. There's gold discovered in California. Now think back to California. It was one of those territories that we got as part of the Mexican Cession, and gold is discovered in 1849. The people that were looking for gold, they're called gold rush. They're called the gold diggers. They're like going for the gold rush, and like when this happens, tons of people move to California. That's why we call their football team the 49ers, right? These are the guys that found gold in 1849. And so California's population grows like crazy. And so like Mexico's probably like, damn it, man, why did we give you to the United States? Okay. The Gadsden Purchase. This is the last big piece of Manifest Destiny. It's in 1853, and this one's kind of interesting. So, like, we had already whooped Mexico and took half their land. So a couple years later, we're like, yo, Mexico, we want to buy this little piece and put a railroad through here. So, like, because there's mountains right here and there's mountains underneath here. So we're like, yo, if we buy this piece, we can put the railroad through here. And Mexico's like, well, fine, might as well. You already whooped us and took half our land anyway. So, fine, you can have this one little piece. And you can do it. It's called a Gadsden Purchase because Gadsden is the guy who bought it for us. And we put a railroad through it. So true Gadsden Purchase. Okay. Our last key point today, there are several ways that people traveled west for the Oregon Trail, like that game I played, right? That was mostly farmers, obviously, going to Oregon. Then you had the Mormon Trail. Mormons are a religious group. They went to Utah. They're another Christian group. They were escaping persecution. Other Christian groups in the east were treating them badly, so they ran away to Utah. Even today, Utah has a lot of Mormons. If you want to know more about them, the Mormons, they're the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So definitely read more about them. And then the last trail is the Santa Fe Trail. It goes to Santa Fe, New Mexico. So this is the most southern trail. And these are paths that people took west. Okay, so here we see on the map. So this is the Santa Fe Trail. If you notice, it goes southwest. And then you have the Mormon Trail in blue going to Utah. And then, of course, the Oregon Trail going west to Oregon. If you notice, all these trails start by the Mississippi River. Because back in the day, Mississippi River was like the furthest west people had ever gone. But now that we have all this land, like people will keep moving west. Awesome. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and grab our map. You picked it up on the way in, and I want you to go ahead and fill in your map just like this, right? So make sure you get the big pieces in. You will get map questions on the STAR exam, so go ahead and plug in your map. Pause the video if you need to. Okay. Okay, awesome. Now let's go to document 3. Once again, I know it's kind of hard to see in your packet. Go ahead and write down everything you see, think, and feel. Go. Okay, so this image I think is pretty interesting. So we see American soldiers moving west. Those are the Rocky Mountains over there. And of course, like, they're bringing the wagon, they're bringing their culture, they're bringing their way of life. This is manifest destiny, right? Money, power, respect. We wanted to dominate and take all the land. Awesome. So a kid made this meme for me last year, and I thought it was hilarious. So it's like, when the supreme leader prepares to slap the kids who got on fresh J's and no homework, hell yeah. Like, if you come in this classroom and you fresh every day, love the Jordans, but you ain't got no pencil, I look at you with a side eye. If you come in here every day looking fresh to death, but then on the STAR exam you embarrass me or your classmates and you prove that you are not a diamond, looking at you with a side eye. So, of course, make sure you handle your business, not just in dressing, but in life. All right, and then I found this meme, and I had to share it with y'all. If you play Grand Theft Auto, you're going to get it. If not, you probably shouldn't play that game anyway. It's pretty violent, but I do love it. Okay, now let's go ahead and jump to our to-do list. If you notice, your packet is very thick, so you got a ton of things to do. Make sure you follow everything on this to-do list. Pause the video if you need. And after you finish the packet, you want to jump to your mini project. This will be on another sheet of paper, so like you need to like give this to me. And so here are your options for the mini project. Pause the video if you need. And then the last thing you want to do is go ahead and knock out your exit ticket. It's on the last page. You can tear it out. Make sure I get the exit ticket before you leave. So you're essentially turning in two things, right? So like, you're turning in the exit ticket and the project, but the big packet you're going to paste in your notebook. All right, perfect. And I'm going to let you finish out on this meme. Y'all have a great day. I'll see y'all tomorrow, one more day before spring break. Talk to y'all later. Bye.